Even like when we were growing up as kids, like it was a misnomer before when people the teacher was like, oh, everybody sit, crisscross like Indian style, and now we've updated our language using the word
Indian
Native
style.
American as opposed to like, oh, like 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 it.
Yeah.
But
Indian giver or something.
Indian giver, or like those were phrases that were back then, but updated to whatever colloquialisms now. It's not intended to be like hurtful. It was a
correct.
misnomer, but it was not intentions are not to be hurtful.
But
But when we're so conditioned to those words to be triggered by them, and people get so angry, they get so angry over these words. I'm like, you know what? We're at the point that my rights are going to be infringed on because how sensitive you are to the words that we're being used.
Let me ask you this then. I know the Washington Redskins got renamed now to a football team. Did you think that rename was like they're just trying to be more PC just because they want to be more inclusive, but in a sense, or because they weren't getting paid for the name to the tribes? I mean, like, because like Redskin in a sense, like supposed to be back in the day, was it supposed to be offensive, something like that, or as related to some kind of?
You have to have a discussion with people who are part of that tribe to ask them if they find it's offensive for them or not, because like maybe they care, maybe they don't. To your point, if they're not being compensated because of, if I don't know, if is it something that is a copyrighted word?
Yeah, and so they obviously changed their name just because, and now. So now what's next?
I'm actually offended that they just changed their name to Washington Football Club or something.
Is that the new name? No way.
I'm more offended that they don't have like something associated with them and they're just a Washington Football Club. I'd rather them be add something, a hawk or a bird or like I don't know, like a lion. I don't know. Add something.
I think they're called the Red Hawk now. Right, Washington Red Hawks.
Are they the Red Hawks? No, they are the Washington football team. That's what they're called.
Hang on.
If like are we gonna say like, oh, saying Red Hawk is offensive, or like anything can be labeled as offensive.
They actually came up with that name. Are you serious?
They're just the Washington football team. They're not anything. They're just there's no what mascot are you gonna put on?
Yeah, what mascot are you?
Remember when we were at Seminole High School for and we were the Fighting Seminoles.
Yeah, Seminoles.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
so that's gonna be offensive now. It's not meant with ill intent, and Florida has a lot of Native American tribes.
Yeah, FSU also they need to change their name like that. Like no more of this.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, you can't do this one anymore. I was like, oh, this is being offensive.
That's definitely offensive.
Like I always used to use the okay sign, like, oh, okay. So evidently this has a new meaning now.
That's a Trump sign now.
Okay.
What is that? Wait, what does that mean? I don't get it.
It's a Trump.
So it's not a Trump sign. So this traditionally has meant okay, like like okay. But what I've learned in now using it in today's now, it's associated with white supremacy, and they're like, oh,
really?
Like it's white. Yeah, they've labeled this.
And you know how they labeled it? It's because Trump does this a lot.
Trump does this all the time.
He does this so much, and then now it's associated with white supremacy.
Yeah.
What about the game? Wasn't there a game that used this too?
Yeah, wasn't it like a tradition? Hang on.
Yeah, like you're trying to get everyone to look at it. I never played that game, but I know it was a game.
I mean, you look at the emojis on our phone and everything like that. Like I would always send back to people. I use okay all the time, and then like I saw Trump using it all the time. But that was even remember I'm a new Trump supporter, so even before I was always just like, all right,
that is so crazy.
And then also like my aunt is deaf, so that's why I also get used to talking with my hands a lot because
okay, mom.
Yeah.
Now you gotta do a thumbs up.
I have to switch this to a thumbs up because like all of a sudden because that's the thing with things being rewritten to serve an agenda or to serve a narrative. It's because like they don't like they're taking a sign that Trump uses or that Proud Boys use and everything, and they're like, oh, we're going to relabel that to mean white supremacy so that we can use this as some sort of evidence of this in a sense like vice or value.
Something I guess I see what you're trying to say. They're trying to turn something that's traditional or what use turn it against it as a negative connotation in a sense, right?
Yeah.
That's also like part of what I was saying, where like changing symbols or like terms into something else, where like their original meaning wasn't what like everyone's saying, and I don't know where the tipping point is where we just are like this is the new definition, but like we need to like identify it and we need to like cut a lot of them off before they start because it doesn't like
it's getting ridiculous.
It's getting crazy.
Hey Robert, next thing this is gonna mean fuck you.
You know,
Yeah.
this used to mean fuck you. Or
Yeah.
was it this or this? Like one way.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
this. I thought it was this. I thought.
Maybe this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
this was.
You know this this is Texas A&M.
Yeah.
You don't do this
The
in
horn.
Italy. The horn. Yes, this is
Yeah.
Texas A&M symbol, but you
means
don't do this in Italy.
That means
Is
the evil, the devil, right?
It literally means if you do this to an Italian, I fuck your wife.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. So don't do this
No,
in
it's
Italy.
not.
No
serious?
joke. The devil horns. This means I fuck your wife.
Wow.
So this is the Italian symbol.
Next time I go to Rome, I'm gonna do that to somebody. You know.
No, you know, it's so weird that like they
It
have.
varies from culture to culture, but
Yeah.
we're changing
Yeah.
it within our own American culture. Like if you do this like
Yeah.
here, that's fine. It's Texas A&M, but like in Italy, you know, you're aware of that.
It's
Or-
funny that culturally that they needed a sign that says "I fuck your wife."
I know.
Like that's. I think that's something cultural
I
they
wanna
need to
hear-
work on. They need to work on themselves.
I want to hear that story how that sign came about. I'm really curious now. It's because that's just mind blowing.
There's a story of like there's this a group of students from Texas A&M. They were in the Vatican and they just
Oh.
had their team win, so they're all like parading around doing this, and so they were arrested.
Oh wow!
I read that in a book. As I was reading about like the differences of symbols in
Wow.
culture to culture.
That
And
is
so,
crazy.
Like
They
even
just
like
didn't know any better. They didn't know any better. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
all right, a thin pinky like this. What do you think this means?
I don't.
Fancy.
Oh yeah, it could be fancy if you're drinking tea.
Fancy, yeah.
But so some people like if you go like this means that they're skinny. Other cultures, this means small penis.
Oh yeah, like yeah, and I see that in
Or
Asian
this can mean,
cultures.
or this can also mean that you're gay. So it can mean skinny,
Oh, really?
gay, or small penis.
I see.
Okay.
So it all varies from culture to culture.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you know,
that's
when we
true.
have these kind of variations within our own culture and it's being
Yeah.
transcribed just to put down, like you know, like the OK symbol now turning to mean white supremacy because Trump uses it, it's so beyond retarded.
But speaking of
You can't
Trump,
use
yeah,
retarded anymore either. That's
I know
offensive.
Yeah,
that's
you
that's
can't do
what
that.
everyone tells
Tara,
me, but
Tara, we're gonna try to get
But-
you on the train.